Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin with a thought, soft as the morning sun. What if everything you need to live a stronger, better, more peaceful life already lives inside you? It does, and it starts with your mindset. Let me take you on a journey through the mind, the heart, and the soul, because when we talk about the power of a positive mindset, we're not talking about blind optimism or wishful thinking. We're talking about transformation from the inside out. Let us begin where all things begin, with thought. The quiet whisper of a single idea, the flicker of an inner voice. That, my friends, is where your life begins to take shape. Not in the world around you, but in the world within you. The mind is not just a place where memories are stored and decisions are made. It is a living, breathing tool, one that carves the meaning of your life every single day. With every passing moment, it interprets, filters, reacts, and reimagines the world around you. It's not just a passenger, it's the driver, and the way it drives determines the direction you'll go. But here's the thing, most people don't realize they're in the driver's seat. They let their minds run on autopilot. Thoughts come and go, unchecked. Doubt becomes a roommate. Fear becomes familiar. And before they know it, the mind becomes a trap instead of a tool. You see, the mind is neutral until you give it direction. Think of it like a knife. In the hands of a surgeon, it saves lives. In the hands of the careless, it causes harm. It is not the knife that decides. It is the one who wields it. And you are holding the most powerful tool you'll ever own. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring life's struggles. It means taking control of the stories you tell yourself. It means challenging the voices that say you can't and replacing them with ones that say, try again. It means rewriting the narrative, not with false hope, but with real strength. And when you begin to understand the power of that tool, when you realize you don't have to believe every thought that passes through your mind, you unlock a freedom many never discover. So the question becomes, what are you allowing your mind to build? If you let in scarcity, you'll live in limitation. If you focus only on pain, you'll miss the beauty. But if you guide your mind with gratitude, with belief, with hope, then even in chaos, you'll find clarity. Your mind is a garden. You are the gardener. Tend it well, and it will feed your soul. Neglect it, and weeds of doubt and fear will take root. So sharpen this tool, feed it wisdom, train it in kindness, and most importantly, lead it. Because everything great you will ever build begins in your mind. Let's be clear about something. Positivity is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's not a mask you wear to cover pain or a slogan you repeat to ignore reality. Positivity, real positivity, is a powerful and personal choice. One you must make every single day. You see, life doesn't hand you a perfect script. It hands you challenges, delays, unexpected turns, loss, and in the middle of that, it gives you a question. How will you respond? You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control your attitude, your perspective, and the energy you choose to bring into the world. That is where your power lives. Not in what you face, but in how you face it. Now, this choice isn't always easy. There will be days when the weight feels too heavy, when the light seems too far. On those days, positivity isn't about smiling, it's about standing. It's about saying, I don't know how, but I'll keep going anyway. It's about turning toward the light, even if all you can see is a sliver of it. And here's what people often miss. Positivity doesn't deny pain. It coexists with it. It says, yes, this hurts, but I am more than this moment. It is the decision to search for meaning even in difficulty, to look for the lesson, to protect your peace even when chaos knocks at the door. Positivity is also a habit. Like any muscle, it grows stronger the more you use it. You practice it in the small things. How you speak to yourself, how you treat others, how you handle disappointment, and before long it becomes a way of life. It's not always about being upbeat. Sometimes it's simply choosing not to give in to bitterness. It's choosing compassion over judgment, choosing curiosity over frustration, choosing to believe that good things are still possible, even when they're not yet visible. And let me tell you this, positivity is not weakness, it's not naivety. It is a deeply rooted strength, a quiet defiance that says life may knock me down, but I will not stay there. Every day, you're given a choice to surrender to the negative or to rise above it. And every time you choose to rise, you grow. Every time you choose to believe in the good, you strengthen not only your own spirit, but the spirit of those around you. So choose positivity, not because life is easy, but because you are strong enough to shape it. There's a quiet power at work in your life, something invisible yet responsible for every choice you've ever made. That power is your thoughts. What you think about yourself, about others, about life itself, shapes not just how you feel, but what you do, and ultimately, who you become. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. They are not fleeting visitors, they are builders. With every repeated thought, every belief reinforced, you are laying down bricks, constructing a path you will walk tomorrow, next week, and for years to come. Now, some may argue, a thought is just a thought. But let me ask you, have you ever had a negative idea that stopped you from trying something, from speaking up, from believing in yourself? That wasn't just a thought, that was a wall. And on the other hand, have you ever held on to a positive thought so strongly that it carried you through hardship, through fear, through failure? That was a bridge. What you think over time becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you act upon, and what you act upon becomes your results, your relationships, your habits, your life. Now the mind is tricky. It likes to present thoughts as truth, but not every thought deserves your trust. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean it's helpful, or honest, or right. So here's the challenge and the opportunity. Become the observer of your thoughts. Begin to notice the patterns. Are they building you up or breaking you down? Are they filled with possibility or soaked in fear? Are they aligned with who you want to be or tied to who you used to be? Because you have a choice. You can let your thoughts lead you blindly, or you can take the reins. You can replace "I can't" with "I'll try." Swap "I'm not enough" with "I am becoming." Trade fear for curiosity, doubt for discipline. And no, it won't change everything overnight. But over time, those better thoughts will create better beliefs will lead to better choices, and better choices will create a life rooted in growth, not limitation. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about mental discipline, about choosing the thoughts that serve you and letting go of the ones that don't. Yes. If you want to change your reality, begin with your thoughts, because the world you see is often a reflection of the world you've built in your mind. So think wisely, think bravely, think with vision, because what you allow to live in your mind today becomes the world you wake up to tomorrow. Walk into any room and you can feel the energy. It doesn't need to be spoken. Whether it's tension or peace, defeat or determination, it hangs in the air. That's because energy is contagious, and nothing spreads faster than negativity, except maybe hope. Negativity has a way of creeping in unnoticed. One complaint becomes two, one doubt becomes discouragement, a single voice saying, this will never work can drown out 10 voices of faith. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself pulled into its current, dragged down before you even realize what happened. But here's the powerful truth: hope is just as contagious. One person choosing to believe, one hand that reaches out in support, one voice that says, "We've got this," that's all it takes to shift the atmosphere. You don't need a title to lead. You don't need a spotlight to inspire. Every day, through your mindset and your attitude, you influence the people around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, even strangers. The question is, what are you spreading? Let your words build, not break. Let your energy uplift, not drain. Let your hope be louder than fear. And know this: when you choose to be a carrier of light, you help others find theirs. The world has no shortage of cynicism. What it needs, what it aches for, is more people who choose to see the possibility, even in the pain. So be that person. Not because life is perfect, but because your mindset is powerful. Negativity may spread fast, but hope, real, honest, resilient hope, it transforms everything it touches. If there is one practice that quietly transforms the human experience, it is gratitude. Gratitude is more than good manners. It's more than saying thank you when something nice happens. Gratitude is a mindset, a way of seeing the world, a powerful perspective that, when practiced consistently, can literally rewire your brain. Neuroscience has shown us something remarkable. The brain is not fixed. It changes. It adapts. And the more you focus on certain thoughts, the stronger those neural pathways become. When you focus on problems, your brain becomes better at finding them. When you focus on what's missing, you'll always feel lack. But when you focus on what you do have, on beauty, on progress, on opportunity, your brain begins to shift. It learns to look for the good. That's what gratitude does. It changes your default setting. Now, don't mistake this for pretending everything is perfect. Gratitude doesn't deny hardship. It helps you endure it. It gives you perspective. It reminds you that even in the middle of stress, there's still breath in your lungs, still people who care, still strength in you that hasn't yet been used. Gratitude grounds you. It says right here, right now, there is something to be thankful for. And when you live with that kind of awareness, anxiety begins to loosen its grip, fear begins to fade, and joy, quiet, steady joy, begins to rise. This doesn't require grand moments. It begins with the small things: a warm meal, a kind word, the sunrise, a lesson learned the hard way. When you learn to be grateful for the little, you open the door to receive the big. Gratitude is not just a reaction. It's a habit, a decision you make each day until eventually it becomes who you are. And that is the power of a grateful mind. It doesn't just see the world differently. It creates a different world. When all is said and done, we will not be remembered by the titles we held or the things we owned. We will be remembered by the lives we touched, the impact we made, and the example we left behind. That, my friends, is our legacy, and it all begins with something most people overlook: mindset. Your mindset is not just about personal success. It's about the influence you carry, the energy you leave in every room, the lessons you pass on intentionally or not. Whether you realize it or not, the way you think shapes more than just your life. It shapes the lives of others. Think about the people who've made the biggest difference in your life. Were they perfect? Probably not, but chances are they carried something in their mindset, something resilient, something kind, something hopeful that stuck with you long after they were gone. That's the power of a mindset-driven legacy. It's not built in grand gestures. It's built in the way you live each day. When you choose courage over comfort, people notice. When you speak life instead of criticism, you give others permission to do the same. When you stay grounded in gratitude, even in hardship, your children, your peers, your community, they see it. And slowly, they begin to absorb it. Mindset is generational. The beliefs you hold today may become the beliefs your children carry tomorrow. The courage you build today may become the confidence someone else leans on. It ripples, it echoes, it multiplies. Now ask yourself, what do I want to pass on? Do you want to leave behind fear, bitterness, and regret? Or strength, wisdom, and faith? Because every thought you nurture, every belief you reinforce, is a brick in the legacy you are building. It is not enough to say, I want to inspire others. You must live in a way that inspires. You must walk with purpose, speak with kindness, choose growth, choose compassion, choose positivity, not for applause, but because the world needs more people who live the values they believe in. This is how legacy works. It starts with your mindset, but it never ends there. It moves outward into your relationships, your work, your community. And long after your voice is silent, the impact of your mindset can still be heard in the way others live. So be intentional, be brave, and remember, you are writing your legacy every single day. Make it one worth remembering.